Hello, ladies and gentlemen. SE Rocks here once again with another episode of 3D Dudes, Drinks, and Discussion. Once again, joining me my co-host,
Zan the Plant Man.
Xander, Zan the Plant Man. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, another beautiful day. Just got home from vacation. Still a little bit tired, but overall it's a good time. Glad to be back home, but I also kind of missed the vacation. I kind of wish we were still there, but that's okay. I'm glad to be home. Slept in my own bed last night.
I definitely miss the city. I'm not happy to be home at all.
No.
I've never had like vacation depression before, but I've been suffering from that from today. Just not feeling being here where there's nothing after you leave a big city and there's stuff to do like every 5 feet. Really missing that. But so what are you drinking on?
Let's see. I have a little bit of coffee that I made this morning. Not this morning, maybe like a few hours ago. And I also have a Hug fruit barrel, complete with straw. Let's see if it makes a good sound or not. Oh.
Are you like 10, dude? I've never seen a grown man drink one of those before. And through a straw, even.
I'm feeling 10 today, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
That's what kind of day we're having today, you know.
Yeah. I have a Zevia 0-calorie soda, no sugar, no artificial sweeteners, caffeine-free ginger ale flavor.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Ooh, that sounded cool. That was a cool sound.
Yeah, delicious.
Wait, do that again. Do that again.
I don't know if I can. It was a one-take shot.
Okay, good. That's better. I was talking the first time you did it, so we got to get the viewers to hear the whole sound effect.
Right.
All part of the experience.
So yeah, today on this episode, we're going to discuss our Chicago vacation and the all-out, all-elite wrestling pay-per-view that we were able to attend in Hoffman Estates, I believe is where the actual event was.
Yep. It was awesome.
At the Sears Center Arena. So yeah, let's start off with our drive there. Any highlights of the drive there, Xander?
Well, once we hit Indiana, it was scary because it was dark.
Yeah.
And like the roads were not marked, and it was like a 2-lane road, and it was a lot of swerves, and I was going slow, and cars were passing me, and
I think that was your first experience with staying at an Airbnb too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got an Airbnb in Valparaiso our first night because we ended up leaving a day earlier than we initially planned on going when we got our I can't say Airbnb. Our Airbnb initially. So then we got one in Valparaiso. It was kind of cool. Creepy, like walking up to the place because there was like 7 cars in this driveway.
I didn't like the main road. Like once you turned onto the road that was supposedly like the road for his house, it was like 1 lane.
The private drive, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, well, if there's ever more than 1 car on this road, you're fucked.
Right, and it was kind of like in like a tall grass field, like you're just kind of
like someone's gonna jump out at me, like in what was it, Fatal Fields in Fortnite or whatever with the tall grass.
Oh yeah. The cornfields.
Yeah. Like that's what it felt like. It was cool, but I was like, oh god, is my car gonna fit down this like narrow ass road? And then once we parked, a dude was leaving, and we had to let him out. And I was like, I hope he doesn't block us in because we're gonna try to leave like super early the next morning.
And we had to go. Like I wasn't even positive it was the right place. Like it looked right. We weren't sure. And
I was like, I hope this is it.
Yeah, so like I walked up to the door, Xander followed me, Dreasaurus and Little Dre stayed at the car.
I locked the car.
Yeah, they weren't going to leave without us if we were dead or something. But yeah, so I believe the guy's name was Eric. He was a really cool guy. He showed us really in. Cool, we had like the whole basement to ourselves. It was a really nice basement. He was actually a wrestling fan. He had talked about how he went to old ECW shows and seen New Jack. Sabu, all those guys. So that was really cool, meeting a fellow wrestling fan at our first stop. While we were down there, though, Lil Dre texted me, "Are you guys still alive?" And Dreasaurus Facebook messaged us, like, "Do we have to come check on you or something?" But
yeah, because he was talking to us for a minute. Like, we were just coming in to make sure, like, yep, this is the right place, and then we were going to go get him.
Yeah, good
and,
hospitality.
Like, we were in there talking for a hot minute, and then I mean, we could have been dead. Who knows? I mean, I locked the car on them, so if they were going to try to leave, I had the keys and the fob, so they couldn't go anywhere.
That was kind of a shit move, dude. Now that I think about it,
it's force of it's a force of habit. Whenever I walk away from my car, that's just what I do. You know.
Yeah, but if we're dead, then you just fucked them. So you just killed all 4 of us. So
yeah, you know, we all got to go down together, right?
Yeah, I guess everything in your life is like Fortnite. Like fuck your team players. It's all about you, huh?
Yeah, we'll just respawn. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
If it's Team Rumble, we'll respawn.
Yeah.
But no, the place was really cool. Like I didn't really know what to expect going into it. Like when you said that it was some dude's basement, I'm thinking like, all right, we're gonna walk into this house. There's gonna be these people. We're gonna be in the basement. We're gonna have to go upstairs if we have to pee. We're gonna have to intrude onto their shower upstairs, and like we're just gonna like sleep in the basement or something. But I get down there and like there's a whole bathroom with a shower and furnished bedrooms and everything. I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have done a house where you have to like they're called shared rooms on Airbnb if you're like just using a room or like a half a house or whatever and you have to share stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be down with that. So I made sure.
Did it say on there how many like apartments or like how many rooms were a part of that house? Because like it looked like there was more people living there than just us. But I'm like, is there like an upstairs too for other people? Or
I seen a picture of their family and it looked like they had like 7 kids. So
maybe they just happened to have a really big house that has a basement that they rent out. I don't know, but
yeah, maybe.
The house looked. I mean, from the outside, the house looked pretty nice. It was a big house.
Yeah, it was definitely a clean place and it was
nice roomy basement for what it was too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have mind staying there. You know, more time and I wouldn't mind going back and exploring Valparaiso a little bit more. Actually.
Right.
But yeah, we got up early the next morning. I don't know. I think we left by what 8:30?
Yeah, I think it was around 8:30. Yeah, it was pretty early.
8:45 because we wanted to hit the Cubs game when we got to Chicago. That was another thing we added on kind of late in the planning process. But
week before, hey, what else are we gonna do? Hey, how about a Cubs game?
Yeah, I always wanted to see Wrigley Field. The Cubs just happened to be playing. Ticket prices were right. Seats were decent. So.
Oh yeah, those seats were amazing for. Like being up, I mean, thinking being up that high, like it wouldn't be that great, but like we could see everything just fine. We weren't that far away, I didn't think. But.
No, it was a really nice field. Like the seats aren't bad when you're up top, and our spot was really nice.
Because they're kind of stacked a little bit too, to where like you're not super far away, even though you're up that high, because they sort of stack them on top of each other a little bit more. But sucks if you're in the lower deck and you're sitting behind one of those support posts, but. Yeah, not our problem.
The guys 2 rows in front of us who like were both like right there in front of the post. That would have sucked.
Oh yeah, but no, the view was great. The game was good. They won. Castellanos, who used to play for the Tigers, hit 2 home runs on his first 2 at bats in that game.
Yeah, back to back. First pitch he blasted out.
And I got a video recording of it in slow-mo too. It just happened to be recording. I was like, I'm gonna record this real quick, and it happened to be the home run hit. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, it was exciting. They won 7-1, I believe, is what the final score was.
I think so. Yeah, because their team got 1 in like the 8th inning or something, and it was like, oh man.
Yeah, so it was a really good experience. Wrigley Field was beautiful. They won. It was a beautiful day.
A little chilly up top at times, but I mean the breeze was nice. Other than it was a little chilly, but
sometimes
I like being cold rather than like sweating my ass off. So
yeah, I'd definitely rather be at a baseball game when it's like 70 as opposed to like 105.
Mm-hmm.
So after the game, we got hosed by some quote unquote homeless gentleman who decided to be a photographer and took photos of us.
I mean, it was nice of him to offer to take the pictures, but yeah, they probably do that on purpose to like try to get you. Yeah.
So Draven got hosed for $5, and he's still pissed off about it. But like I said, he has a big heart. He was helping the guy out. So I mean, if the guy was actually homeless, he was hummus. If the guy was hummus, if he was ground chickpeas, if he was actually homeless, oh my god.
God damn it.
I still have a lag from the vacation. If he was homeless, then Draven just helped him get a meal or stay somewhere. So, but if he wasn't, then the dude's a piece of shit, and he just took $5 from a 14-year-old kid who worked his ass off to get it. But who knows? But yeah, so that was fun. Then we walked
good gesture either way. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So after that, we kind of walked around a little bit before we got to our parking spot.
Comic book store.
Went to a comic book store.
That was cool.
Yeah, we didn't. None of us bought anything though, did we?
I don't think. No, I don't. Yeah, I didn't. I don't think any of us did.
No, they had some cool stuff, but nothing.
Oh yeah, that wall of pop figures, and I liked in that section in the back that they had the like Chicago local comic writer display, because it's like you get all these big the big names like the DC and the Marvel comics and stuff, but like it's not just DC and Marvel. Like there's independent people that are trying to get by, and like it's cool that they feature the local artists and that kind of stuff too. That was nice.
Yeah, that's how the comic book shop in West Branch that just closed down recently was too. They had comic books from the Bay City, Saginaw area. I believe it's Point Press or Point something Press Comics out of I believe Saginaw. Like they had a whole section from those guys.
That's cool. Yeah,
it was really cool. We actually bought prints from Oh God, he's one of the comic book. What was that guy's name? I'm talking Lil Dre's right here. I don't remember.
Which guy? The guy that made the Macho Man.
No, that's Eric. I don't know. Anyway, he was selling prints there too, so I bought some prints. Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So,
Nice.
you got to support the local artists. So.
Oh yeah. Gotta help the little guy so they can one day become the big guy, and you can be like, I knew that guy.
Exactly. You always.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. You make money, man.
Oh yeah.
Get their autographs now, because someday it might be worth something.
Right. You never know.
Yeah. So then we were on our way to, where did we say? Skokie. We stayed in Skokie, Illinois, the night before All Out. We didn't really do a whole lot, did we?
No. Well, I think that night we just got home and we just kind of were like, oh, we're tired.
Yeah.
Or no. I know that's what we did after the paper, or after All Out too. Is it was just like, bedtime.
We hung out and talked a little bit, but then we went to Baskin Robbins, and I almost lost my shit.
That's right. Yeah, Baskin
that.
Robbins. That was that night. Yep, I remember that. Good times.
Yeah. So man, some people's customer service is just fucking terrible. Like, I don't know. It was bad.
They need like a bell. Did they have a bell on the door when we walked in? Because I know a lot of times businesses, when you walk into the door, the door goes ding or something to notify, hey, if there's nobody at the counter, you have a customer. Come on out.
I don't think they did, but I mean,
because there was nobody at the counter we were standing there for a good couple minutes.
Yeah, it started off bad, and it just got worse as time progressed, and the guy was just terrible.
And then the other guy walked up, and then they ordered, and we're like, "Where were you before?"
Yeah, like this guy and his son cut us, and it was like, really? We've been standing here for 3 minutes, and all of a sudden you get, yeah.
And then Draven's tiny little sandwich. We were at the one end of the counter, and they dropped off the food at the other end of the counter. So the dude walked all the way over to us to tell us, hey, your food is all the way down there at the end of the counter, when you could have just handed it to us.
Right. Yeah.
And then Draven's little thing was like the size of a frickin' fortune cookie. All it needed to do was like fold it over.
Right.
And I'm like, how much did you pay for that? Because like that looks like it was like $1.
Yeah,
like
it was $1. So I mean,
I was gonna say, I hope you didn't pay more than $1 for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain for the price,
No.
but the
My sandwich
experience was bad.
Mm-hmm. The ice cream was good. But
yeah, the non-dairy, what I get, cookie dough, I think was delicious. I mean, the ice cream was good, but the experience.
Yeah, I think mine was like
bad.
Oreo something, but yeah, it was good.
Yes, and I just wanted to. The rules for this Airbnb were like fucking stupid.
I was scared. Yeah.
Yeah, like for some reason it didn't initially bring up house rules like when we got the house, because it was an apartment actually, but we had the whole thing to ourselves, and it was really nice. I'm not gonna knock the the cleanliness or anything of what we had. It was very nice, but like we read the house. Well, Dreasaurus read the house rules like 2 days before because I had asked her something about it, and it's like. No spices, no fish, no strong smell foods can be cooked, or there'll be a $300 cleaning fee. And I was like, well, what does he mean by like no spices? Like what? We just can't. I mean, basically, it scared you away from cooking anything. So
right, like should we not make any food at all?
Yeah,
we'll eat our bananas and the grapes we brought along, and that's about it.
Right. So that was kind of a red flag. So she emailed them, trying to have them go a little more in depth. Like what's okay to use, and the way I read the email came back pretty snobby. Like, I mean, he didn't clarify anything. It was basically, well, you'll know what smells bad. Well, like something that smells bad to me might not smell bad to somebody else. So you're not. Right. So I don't know. Like that experience was bad. The rules for the house were just way too strict. Like I get it. You don't want people ruining your place or whatever. But if somebody asks you to clarify something, clarify it.
Yeah. I think. Between the two B&Bs, I think I did like the apartment one better, just because like I felt more like freedom, I guess, in the place. Whereas like when we're in the dude's basement, like there's people above us. I mean, I guess there was people above us in the apartment.
Yeah, see, I actually felt different. But, like
I don't know.
I think the fact that the other guy was there and he showed us the place, I felt
That's
more
true.
Comfortable. I don't know, like levels of speaking or whatever. If we got loud in the apartment. Because there was like a quiet time on the house rules too, like quiet time's 10 o'clock or something. Like when we were doing our live Facebook, I'm pretty sure it was after 10, and we got kind of loud at times. So, I tried to tone it down. So in the back of my head, I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to, piss him off and get kicked out or anything. But I didn't feel that at the other place. But then again, we didn't really stay up that late. So
no, maybe it was just because we weren't at that place for as long. Is like I don't know, like because we were in the basement, it just felt like a lot darker of a place. Like we were kind of like confined in darkness. We had like our one little window that let in some sunlight, whereas like in the bigger apartment, like all the bedrooms had a bunch of windows. We had a full kitchen with windows. We could open up the window and get fresh air in the place and everything. And I don't know. It kind of reminded me back of in like college time, like living in the college dorms on my own and stuff like that. And I don't know, it was nice. But both places were really nice.
Yeah.
First Airbnb and second, I guess, technically.
Right, yeah.
It was really cool. It's a lot different than a hotel, staying in just like, here's your room. It's got a bathroom with a shower in it. And you get your bed or two beds and a tiny little TV, whereas like this is a nice house and it's got pots and pans and cups for stuff. And like it was a cool experience.
Yeah, definitely. Airbnbs, I mean, they can work out to your advantage. Sometimes you find them cheaper in a hotel room.
Depending on where it's at, probably, how much space they've got. And
yeah, definitely.
That probably didn't help that we were, holiday weekend, like, busy Chicago. Like,
right, yeah, last minute type thing.
I mean, we booked it relatively in advance.
Oh, yeah, that one
at least
we did.
The first
I was
one.
thinking Valparaiso.
Yeah, the Valpo one we probably could have saved on if we would have booked it a little earlier than like the week before. But
yeah,
overall, I mean, still cool.
Yeah, I mean, still
better than a hotel, cramming the four of us into a hotel room.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because then we could be like spacious and like have a bedroom if we need to walk away or whatever, instead of like we're all here all the time. And
yeah, is that why you kept walking away? You had to walk away?
No,
you had to get away. I'm just fucking with you. It would have been nice to have another bed though. The 2-bed thing was, and I understand they have queen beds. They're probably expecting like families or whatever that don't mind sharing a bed. So the last night I had to sleep on like a couch that had like no space, so my neck was pretty out of whack. But
I was almost gonna, because I know Drea did. I was almost gonna bring a pillow and a blanket too, because I was gonna like, I was like, oh yeah, Drea can have the bed. I'll take the couch. But then like Drea brought like a sheet and she brought all this extra stuff, and I'm like, oh well, she came prepared.
Right.
I'm like, well, all right. Like,
yeah, next time you have to sleep on the couch though.
Oh yeah, well I mean that's what I was gonna So next time that's fine.
You get one night with the couch. Yeah. Me and little Dre had a couch. So the next day.
So going back to that, sorry. So like Dre, he made you take the smaller couch.
No, I gave him the big one because he's taller than I am. Yeah,
I was confused. I was like, wait a second. Like, why'd you get the shorter couch?
I gave him the bigger one. He didn't want me to, but he does have longer legs than me, so I took the shorter one.
He's so tall.
Yeah, fatherly love. So the next day before the pre-party that we went to check out for All Out, what did we do, Xander?
We well, at first we just watched a dunk tank for a few minutes.
That was at the pre-party though. Didn't we do anything before it?
We walked to Target and then we drove to Walmart.
Yeah, we went to
and
Walmart.
ate at the Burger King in a Walmart.
Yeah, all the way to Chicago to go to Walmart and Burger King.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
The Target we were kind of in and out because I think you guys were looking for wrestling figures or something, and they didn't have they had one aisle of toys in the whole store, and they didn't have any wrestling figures or anything.
Yeah, it was a super small Target.
The building looked cool. I know I took a picture of the building. I'm like, oh, this is fancy, but it looked like it should have been a 2 or 3 story building, and it maybe it was, and maybe there was a stairs to go, but it was really not that big. I don't know.
No.
Walked around a little bit, ran across the street. Because the light was about to turn red.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the street was crazy. I did find a Chase King Mabel wrestling figure at that Walmart there, which was pretty cool.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I found a retro, what was it, Sheamus? Yeah, retro Sheamus, so.
You found the Doc action figure.
Yeah, we found an action figure that looked exactly like the Doc. Like, it was almost like they took his fucking face scan and put it on Cesaro's body.
It on Cesaro's body.
It's one of the ugliest figures I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It was just like, oh my god. And I barely even know Curtis, but that's his face. And
right.
I'm just like that.
Yeah, he actually stopped here 2 hours ago on his way through, and I just gave him shit about not doing the podcast or anything. But then Draven was like, yeah, did you remember? And he totally ghosted Draven about the figure. So
of course
he may have been a little butthurt about it. I don't know. Yeah,
he'll be fine.
Lukewarm temperatures.
Yeah.
So yeah, we made it to the pre-party. The drive was not bad at all.
No, I was fully expect because I got the email a day or two before the show, and they were like, get to the show an hour early because there's gonna be backup traffic. It's gonna be super congested. Blah blah blah. Maybe that's because we got there at 3 o'clock and the show wasn't the actual show wasn't until 6, so maybe they were talking more congested at 5.
Probably, yeah.
But we got to the pre-show and the parking lot was mostly empty still, and the dunk tank was cool. We saw Noel Foley and I keep wanting to say Doink the Clown, but it's Frank the Clown.
Frank the Clown, yeah.
And the host guy was Flip Gordon?
Yeah, Flip Gordon was the guy handing out the baseballs or softballs or whatever for the dunk take. Yeah, it was really cool. Like, we were like 2 feet from Flip before the show even started. Like you said, Noelle Foley was there. Beautiful. Noelle Foley is gorgeous.
Chris, I thought it was funny. What?
Well, go ahead. No,
there was one point in the dunk tank where one of the guys hit the target square in the middle, and like nothing happened, and the dude got pissed off and like ran up to the thing and like sucker punched it and like.
No, I think he kicked it.
Or he kicked it, yeah. Because then like the backdrop fell down and the whole button was like hanging out from behind, and he was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I was kind of expecting somebody to be like, "Dude, what the fuck?" You know, like come take him down or something.
It's rigged or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he was like part of the show or what. I don't know. He was a bigger dude though.
Yeah. But that was cool. The Chris Van Vliet interview was pretty cool with Colt Cabana. Got to meet both of them afterwards.
Yeah, I really liked that interview. Actually, it was cool. I really like stories like that with workers, wrestlers, whatever you want to call it, where they're telling stories about how they got started and backstage stories and stuff. That stuff really resonates with me. I really enjoy it. It was cool hearing about Colt Cabana, like he was talking about how he got started and
having to sell T-shirts and having to work 3 shows a week to get by.
Yeah, like how he was making his own merch and stuff until he heard of 1 Hour Photos, and then he got in with them, which ended up making Pro Wrestling Tees, basically.
And then that's crazy.
He name dropped somebody I did not expect to hear the name, especially from somebody like Colt Cabana. He name dropped Eric Freedom. A few of you out there who may be listening to this or watching it on YouTube or whatever know who Eric Freedom is. He's well known in the Cadillac area as a promoter. He has a lot of heat with a lot of the boys with how he treats people. If you actually go back and watch 13 Questions with SE Rocks, James Dillinger kind of shoots on him a little bit. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go back, watch that video with James Dillinger. I had some issues with Eric Freedom. Nothing as bad as most of the boys do. My old best friend, Gary the Freak, had big beef with Eric Freedom. Freedom really screwed him over quite a few times. It was just weird being at a huge show like that and hearing Eric Freedom, like this fucking guy who I think he worked maybe 2 or 3 matches in WWF, and he was a jobber. I mean, he just came out or not a jobber. He took the fall, I guess you would say. And I guess when Cabana name dropped him, he said that he wrestled him in Wisconsin, and Eric Freedom was dressed as Doink the Clown. So that was kind of it was interesting. I gave a little boo when he said Eric Freedom, and obviously nobody else fucking knew what I
right. Because when you're out there and you're like, oh, Eric Freedom,
yeah,
like, oh, who's that? He must be a cool guy. He must Colt Cabana.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
But like it was kind of cool because I don't know anything about him, but like I knew the name and I was like, oh, like wow.
Yeah, because there's some cool people that you're associated with who name drop him once in a while, and it's never in a positive context. Which I totally understand. Like I said, I've had issues with him too, but. Actually, now that I think about it, Eric Freedom was running a show in Cadillac this weekend where Rhino did a seminar. So
oh wow,
yeah. So he's still running shows and doing his thing or whatever. I have a it's kind of a shit story, but I'll give it real quick. When I was part of NWAAE, we were running shows in Grayling at the Ramada Inn, and one day myself, James Dillinger, I believe Gary was there. And one or two other guys. Like, it was a shit move looking back on it. It was really douchebaggery on our part because it's like a no-no to do. But we went and put flyers of our show on the hoods of the cars of one of their shows when they were running in Gladwin.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was a lot of heat there before that, and then after that was even worse. Like, yeah, it wasn't good. So,
I mean, you got to,
Yeah, back.
You got to do what you got to do as a promoter to get people to come see your shit. I mean, if you'll know they like wrestling because they're at a different show, I guess. But
yeah, it's just a no-no though. Like, that's the type of stuff they don't teach you anymore. So
yeah, territory stuff and like kind of
exactly, territorial. So yeah, what do we got here? That
PreParty was cool.
So it was cool to meet Chris Van Vliet. He did a little storytelling about his podcast and how he got started doing what he's doing.
There should be some clips of that in. I assume this will go up before that. So
probably, yeah.
Go check out the part 1 and part 2 of our full vlog adventure. It should be a 2-part thing.
Video. I don't get to see our
so you can see a chunk of the interview. You can see our full trip. So make sure you check that out. It'll be on both of our channels, part 1 and part 2. Just look around for them. We'll link them maybe, or I don't know, but check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, right. You gotta plug.
If you're listening to this and that's not up yet, give me a minute. I'm working on it.
Or 3 months. We'll see how that turns out.
We'll see how that goes. It's pretty much done. I'm just making like a graphic now for our names real quick, and then it should be done.
Yeah, it's gonna look beautiful. Xander Media does a good job.
Woo!
But yeah, it was really cool hearing him talk about how you have to set small goals, but they can't be vague goals. Like he was talking about podcasts. It kind of put things into perspective for me because sometimes you get frustrated. You're putting out what you think is quality content. You're hearing good things from the 4 or 5 people who listen to you. Like, we don't get many listeners, let's just be honest, but it's always positive things we hear. So like you want to quit sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's like over the last 2 months when I'm seeing people just starting and they have more subscribers or more listeners or more downloads, and it's just frustrating. Like what am I doing wrong that people aren't as interested in what we're doing, or the Rox reviews or anything? Like, what could I do better? And finally you just, because you're putting time into it. I mean, you got to record them, you edit them, which I do most of my own editing unless Xander is actually in them, as opposed to what some people out there think. Yeah, so you had to do that right in the mic, didn't you?
Yes.
Friggin' dick.
Sorry.
But yeah, so you get frustrated. So it was nice hearing him. He's gave you like base goals to set. Like, okay, so you want to get 10 listeners, you want to get 100 listeners. You start small, you hit that goal, and then you work your way up. So it kind of reset my mood. Like, I wanted to give up. I didn't want to do them anymore. Like, I honestly felt like this vlog was probably going to be the end of the channel, even though I have like so many Rox relics to, well, one big long Rox relic to do. But I was just frustrated. Like, I'm seeing other people's views going up and mine are just stagnant, and it's just a bummer.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was a great interview.
You got to get my mom was even like, because my mom was talking to my neighbors about my Xander Za stuff. And she was like telling them where to go to find it and this and that. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's weird because like they're my neighbors and like that's strange.
No,
but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if you get the word out and like people will look into that, all you need is one person to then one person tells another person who tells another person. And I think they were even saying for the All Outer, they were saying something with like, you tell 5 friends and have those 5 friends tell their 5 friends. Or like that's all it takes is the more people that hear about it, the more people check it out, click on it, and if it's the right kind of people that are interested in that kind of stuff, they'll share it to more people, and then like. But that's where we haven't hooked on that yet.
Though, like you have your mom, she's out there like pushing for you and stuff. Like,
and I'm like, Mom, don't tell my neighbor. Like, that's weird.
No, that's awesome, man. That's like I don't have that. Like, I don't have that support, and I'm not. There's no knock on the people out there who do watch, who do share the stuff. It's just, excuse me, I don't have that support. I don't have those people out there sharing, and like you said, 5 people share, 5 more people share, or whatever. It seems like I did initially, like our first 3 vidcasts that we did with the doc, like our views are up. But okay, we got way off track here. This could have been a whole other podcast. So let's get back
we could just keep going on this.
All out here. So PreParty was pretty cool. It wasn't anything spectacular, but the interviews were really cool. I thought Flip Gordon was supposed to do an interview. I don't know if we missed it because we went to wait in line.
I think it just said he was just hosting the thing.
Oh, is that what it was?
He was hanging out at the dunk tank, and that was pretty much all he was doing the whole show.
Okay, I thought for some reason I thought there was an interview, so
he went over. I think the biggest thing he did, I think, was then he interviewed Chris Van Vliet, or he introduced Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah.
And then he did his thing from there. But yeah, I think he was just kind of the face of the party, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, probably, which was cool. It was cool seeing him there. Like I said, you got to get close to him, and how it. A lot of the workers like to call guys marks if they get pictures with other workers or whatever. But you know what? I'm a fan of wrestling, and I was there to have fun. So call me a mark if you'd like. If you're not a mark for wrestling, you need to get the fuck out of the business because you're in it for yourself. That's SE Rox's take on it. Like, if you're out there calling other people marks and you aren't a mark for the business, if you don't mark out for wrestling, like, you're not in it for the fans. You're not in it for what it is supposed to be. But that's just my opinion. So we waited.
I was kind of looking.
Go ahead,
I was looking for the interview online because it like. Whoever was sitting in the chair right in front of the stage was recording the interview.
Yeah, he said it was going to be up on his channel.
So, like, I looked on YouTube, and I didn't see anything there. He had a couple things from after All Out, because, like, they had, like, the post-interview thing. But, like, it wasn't, like, interview one-on-one, but it was, like, them talking to the media or whatever. So he had a couple of those up, but I looked on his Facebook and his YouTube, and I didn't see it yet. So unless he's adding more to it, like an edit or something.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a bigger thing where he does, like, backstage stuff. too, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it takes a longer time to do it. I don't know. Right. But I'm looking forward to seeing it again, and like maybe if there's a pan of the crowd, we can see us or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It was kind of funny too when the food truck girl brought up burgers and kind of like right in the middle of the show, they weren't expecting it, and she brought them burgers and kind of put them on the spot, so they had to put over her food truck, and then she didn't bring napkins, so they shot on her.
Good times.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Took her a minute to come back with a napkin. I think one of the other food trucks tried to run up with a napkin too before she got there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shoot, this is our time to shine. We brought the napkins.
Right.
We're reliable. We'll come to our food truck. We have napkins. Oh my God, that one food truck with the churro. Oh, that was a good churro.
Yeah, Lil Dre didn't get the
I felt so bad. Yeah,
because
he went after the interview and they had no more, and I was like, oh man. Like,
I got the black bean tacos. I mean, they were okay. They were kind of bland. I should have put hot sauce on them, but. So anyway, getting back, we got to the line after we left the pre-show. The line.
That line was, oh my God,
dude, it was fucking insane. It was
cool, but
and it went fast. Like the line itself wasn't bad, but it was so big. It was just like a fucking sea of people.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a line like that before. Like, I've been in long lines before, but like it's been like everyone's single file waiting to get into one door, as opposed to like a mob of people because there was really only one. Like, I guess one door to get in.
Yeah, there's one entrance, yeah.
One entrance, but there were several doors, but one entrance for like 10,000 people to walk in and get in line for merch. And that's, the merch. That's
we'll get to the merch.
We'll get to the merch.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely, like, the biggest wrestling line I've ever been in. We've been to, like, TNA and NWA TNA pay-per-views.
Very well organized, though, getting everybody in. Like,
I mean... I have no complaints.
The way it was clustered, I was like, this is going to be a shit show. There's going to be people tripping over the steps to get into the door. But, like, once the line was moving, everyone got in.
Literally, easily, we were probably, I don't know, I'd say maybe mid-line. I don't know, beginning to mid. And it took maybe 10 minutes to get in once the doors were open. Like, I have no complaints about
very efficient, scanned the barcodes, did the beep, beep, make sure you're not carrying anything you shouldn't into the building. And, it was very efficient. They practiced.
Yeah, they knew what
the merch lines... They didn't know what the fuck they were doing, but we'll get to that.
Anyway, go ahead and do the merch thing, because that's like the whole first part of the show was merch.
So when we first walked in, I kind of wanted to get into the merch line like the second we walked in the door, but I also had to pee. So I was like, all right, we'll go pee, and then we'll find our seat, and we'll do this, that, and what else. I waited in the merch line closest to our section because you guys were going to go get food or something, I think, and I was like, well, I'm going to go get in the merch line because like they had a t-shirt that says I was there on the back. So I was like, I got to get the freaking t-shirt that says I was there. So I go to the first merch line. The guy in front of me just told me, he just got stuck waiting in the food line, thinking he was in the merch line, only to find out that he wasn't. So then he had to get into the merch line. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, I figured out which line was right. Whatever.
Right.
After a good 20, 25 minutes, I get up to the front of the line, and I'm like, I want the foam finger, and I want this shirt. And they're like, oh, well, in this line, we don't have that shirt in this size, but if you go to either of the other two, they should definitely have it. Well, okay, fine, whatever. Like, all right, I'll go wait in another line, I guess.
Okay, let me interject real quick. You were already in line for probably 35 minutes at that point, I think, because you completely missed all the pre-show, right?
I think by the time I was at the table, the women's match was still going. I think they had like just announced who the Ace of Spades was or who the Joker was or whatever the final card is. So like the match wasn't completely done, but I think by the time I made it to the other line, by the time I got in the other line, the second match was starting. And that line was... Like, the first line was complete single file all the way to the front, like, because you had to go around the food to get to that line. So, like, that line was single file straight all the way through, but the other line was single file for the most part until you got within 5 feet of the table. Then it turned into this just big, wide clusterfuck of, like, people are going to the side of the table, and they were telling people, we're not serving people who are at the side of the table. You have to be in front of the table. So I get up there, and they didn't have it either, and I was like... Well, at least let me get the foam finger.
Right.
Like, at least one of the two, like, I just waited in line for, collectively between the two lines, probably a good 45 minutes.
At least, yeah.
Like, I missed basically the entire pre-show.
Yeah.
I don't remember if was I up to the seat before the end of the second match, or no, that was over?
No, I think you missed all of it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I was almost going to go wait in the third line, because I was like, well, they do have 3 merchandise stands. And, like, I went up to that line, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather wait in the food line, which also looked awful, because, like, I was thirsty, and I was, like, just pissed off because I waited in 2 merchandise lines. Like, they needed to have a system of, like, put all of the T-shirt sizes, like, above the shirt that's on display, so as they sell out, they can cross it off, so I can see from the back of the line that this line isn't going to have what I want, so I don't have to wait in line.
Yeah.
And it was ugh. Other than that, though, I mean, because, like, those lines were painfully slow. Like,
yeah.
I think they had, like, 3 or 4 people working at the table, but, like, for the size of that line, I don't know if the people, once they got to the front of the counter, just didn't know what they wanted. And they're like, well, it's little Jimmy, what do you want? Like, oh, I want the foam finger. Oh.
Right.
And, like, I was just like, how, like, because the lines, honestly, the lines to get into the merch were not that long.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the fact that, like, I would go 5 minutes without even taking a step forward.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I could tell you were pretty pissed off. I mean, I would be too. Like, when they say there's going to be arena exclusive shirts only, of course people are going to want those. So why do you not fucking stock the shit out of those shirts?
Mm-hmm.
It's
like,
a t-shirt company.
A separate
like,
line. Like, it would have been cool if they would have had one merchandise table for just the exclusive shirts.
Right, yeah. That is
because then, like, they could have had one table for everything else that you could otherwise get at Pro Wrestling Tees.
Mm-hmm.
And then a separate line for the arena exclusives. Because they sell those arena exclusive ones online on Pro Wrestling Tees now, but they don't say that I was there on the back.
Yep.
And I'm like, I kind of want to get one still because they still have the 20% off sale until noon tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's not the same as getting it at the show. Like, now I have to wait for them to print it and ship it to me in 2 weeks, as opposed to, like, I could have got it at the show. And
yeah, and it would have had the back part on it. And, I mean, the back part is the cool thing. I mean,
right,
honestly.
the thing that actually says that you were there. Like,
Yeah.
you could get the shirt that says All Out on it, but, like, the fact that it says I was there, like, I'm going to go to a different show, and they're going to be like, oh, that guy wasn't there. It doesn't say that on his shirt.
Right, and it was cool, like, walking Navy Pier the next day. We'll jump into, I just wanted this tough, like, seeing people with the AEW shirts that said I was there, like, you know, seeing there was other fans there that were, you know, sporting.
That one guy you interacted with was a little awkward. You were at the show? Oh, yeah.
Well, I said something to him, and then he just...
Well, no, you did. His response, he sounded kind of confused when he was... or, like, I don't know, it was weird.
Oh,
We'll get to that later.
So.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll talk about it, but yeah. So,
anyway, the show.
Yeah, so you missed the whole pre-show.
I bet the pre-show was all right. I don't know. I wouldn't know. But,
yeah, I mean, I thought it was decent. There were some...
Thank God I didn't miss the Luchasaurus match, or I would have started flipping some tables.
Flipping, like Flip Gordon.
See, yeah.
Yeah, but the women's casino battle royal was decent. I don't know if I liked Nyla Rose winning, like I get what they're doing with her, but
she was in the first batch. I looked it up. She was in the first like batch of 6 people or 7 people, whatever. Like she was one of the first entrances in, and
yeah.
I think she had the most eliminations too. I think it said she had like 10 of the eliminations all by herself or something.
Yeah, they're gonna push her
nuts.
as a monster, which is great. It's just I would have personally rather seen somebody else take it. It was really cool seeing Mercedes Martinez. She was the Joker card, which you know, the surprise entrant or whatever. Cool seeing her. Who else? I can't think of. Was there anybody else that was really like a surprise? I don't think so.
The crowd popped hard for Kong.
Oh yeah, even though she came out with Brandy and she's a heel.
Was it ODB?
Yeah, ODB probably got one of the biggest pops. ODB goes way back. Like when I first started going to shows and stuff, and then started hanging out with Gary or whatever and getting into the business, ODB was always around because she would do shows for Eric Freedom, who we just talked about. Yeah, she was really over, man. I couldn't believe the pop she got. She came out with somebody else who got a big pop too, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. Who's what's her name now? Emma in WWE. What's her?
Dashwood.
Yeah, she didn't get that much of a pop, I don't think.
No, I mean it was
I was
okay.
Kind of surprised. Like I was excited. I was like, oh, cool, Emma. You know, like
Yeah.
that's neat. Tennille Dashwood and AEW, that's cool. But yeah, she didn't get that much of a pop. I don't know.
Allie got a decent pop, which is good. Allie's one of my favorites in their division.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
She's funny. I liked her stuff in TNA with Rosemary.
Yeah,
that
the
whole
Demon
thing
Bunny
they had
stuff.
going. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, really good. That's when I started digging her stuff. I did see a report that there was like a spot in there where somebody kind of shot. I can't remember their name. Sorry, guys. But But I guess one of the women sandbagged somebody else on a spot, and now like after I heard that it had happened, I remember seeing the spot. Like one of the women picked the other woman up and like dropped her, and like they no-sold it, and like threw the other. I guess they got in a fight backstage over it.
Yeah,
somebody threw a punch, but I can't remember any names. Sorry. Yeah, but it was decent. It was, I mean, what you would expect of a battle royal. I kind of like how they changed it up. How like what is it? 5 women come out every card. Is that what it is? Yeah, because you got 5.
It's either 5 or 6.
No, I think it's 5 because you got 20 and then
4.
the Joker card.
Yeah, so 5 of each.
So there's 21 overall. So I like that setup. It's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. It was cool. It's better than a Royal Rumble of one at a time, where in a battle royal they're all in the ring at the same time.
Right.
Like it's cool 5 at a time and then the surprise. It's something different, something unique, kind of make it your own.
Exactly. And they're doing a decent job. I mean, depending on who you talk to, some people say they're just stealing WWE or TNA, but what was the other match on the pre-card?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Pre-show.
I pulled it up. Private Party and Angelico and Jack Evans. I didn't see that match.
I was going to say, you didn't get to see it. Private Party won me over, I gotta say. I haven't been a fan of theirs. I don't know why. I don't know. I just don't dig their game. I don't know if it's just because they remind me a lot of Street Profits from NXT. So like I don't like the Street Profits either. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna give these guys a chance. And it probably had a lot to do with Angelico, however you want to say it, and Jack Evans. Being their opponents, because they made Street Profits look like $1 million. Young Bucks, it was just a really good match. There were some decent high spots, some nice reversals and stuff, and then Jack Evans and Angelico turned on Street Profits to like solidify their heel status, I guess. Mm-hmm. They always seemed like heels to me because they were really cocky, but the crowd's been kind of cheering them.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess they did that to just, we're heels, fucking boo us type thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it was definitely a good way to kick off the show. I think it got the crowd, warmed up for what was to come. You want to talk about the first match?
Oh, my God. Dreo was excited. Oh, my God. We got, they had a name, too. I saw they have an official name now. They are the Jurassic Express is their team name for the 3 of them.
And that's the official name?
According to Wikipedia.
Oh.
So what the internet says, it must be true.
Yeah, I hope that's
SoCal
not
Uncensored versus the Jurassic Express, if that's what we're calling them. But if not, Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. Oh my God, that match. Luchasaurus can frickin' go. I don't think I've ever seen any of his matches, and oh my God, that dude can go. He's a frickin'... How tall is that guy? Let me see his Wikipedia page.
Yeah, you go look at his Wikipedia. I'm going to make a...
is frickin' 6'5".
Yeah, big dude.
And he's standing up and doing, like, stand-up backflips and, like, flying around and shit. And I'm like, this dude could, like... He's doing stuff that, like, I'd think Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy would be running around here doing flippy doos. But, like, frickin'... Oh, my God. Luchasaurus is a champ, dude.
Yeah, I was just going to say real quick that we actually seen Marco Stunt as we were walking to the line. He ran into Dreasaurus as we were walking the line because he ran out of like the doors, and like that's his thing. He just runs everywhere, I guess. I don't know. Like he was going out to meet somebody and he like ran right by us. So
he had to go pee. He had to go run by the tree and go pee.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Or something. I don't know.
But
no,
yeah,
like I was just so impressed.
Yeah,
like I've seen like Daniels and Kaz go before, but like Luchasaurus, holy shit.
You can't take anything away from Kaz and Daniel. They helped make what'd you call them? Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express.
Yeah, they made those guys look amazing.
That was a solid match. Yeah,
Daniels, Sky, and Kaz are fucking phenomenal. Like not just their work rate, but like I remember Kaz was fucking so bad in TNA and ROH. Like his promos were trash, man. He has come so far in the 10 years or whatever. Daniels is the same way. He was never really good at a promo, but they've really found their spot with this SCU gimmick, man.
Mm-hmm. I thought originally that SoCal was heel because like the whole "this is the worst town ever" thing, like.
Right.
Like going to a town and like, cause that's like the Mick Foley pop thing. Like, oh, we're here in this town, crowd. But like to hear you come into this building and you know what, this fucking town sucks. Like you get a boo for that. But like they come out and they say this is the worst, and the whole building is saying it with them, and I'm like, wait a second,
right?
like, this gimmick is super over, and that's great, but, like, are they faces? Because, like, I know they shook hands at the end of the match. Like, they must be a face or something, but...
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like
I was surprised that was the opening match, because, like, that was a really good match, I thought.
It kicked the show off right, I think. It set the pace for the rest of the show, which was great. Like you said, Luchasaurus was, like, all over the place. He was fucking doing Hurricanranas, standing moonsaults. Marco's stunt got in a little bit. He was all right for being, that little guy running around.
I didn't realize how short he was. Mm-hmm. Until I was like, he was standing, and I'm like, his head was like up to the top rope, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was a little dude. Yeah. But surprisingly, fucking SCU walked away with a win. I haven't got to go back and listen to our predictions, but I'm pretty sure we all picked Jurassic Express to take that match.
Mm-hmm. I think we all did, yeah, because I know Drea picked them, obviously. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we all did, yeah. But maybe you picked, I don't know, maybe you picked the other one.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back. I'm pretty sure we all picked Lucha Express, but I think it was the right move, and especially shaking hands at the end of the match.
Oh, they have times for the match. They have the length times for the matches on here too. Nice, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. SCU, I don't feel like needed. They didn't need to win, but letting them win, I think, further down the line is probably going to like help boost whatever tag team they put over, which may be Lucha Express. I'm not sure where they're going to go with their feud now. But Luchasaurus is so fucking over, they didn't need to win.
Right.
And I think they knew that. Like,
the crowd was chanting for him before the match even started. And...
yeah, it was one of the biggest pops of the night.
Yeah.
It was really
good.
For
sure.
What do we have for match number 2?
Pac and Kenny. I was surprised that was the second match.
Was that really second?
Yeah, that was the second match on the show.
Yeah, that was insane to me, too.
There was no, like, pre-match package either. Like, I don't know if maybe the first match went long and they had to cut and get Kenny out there, or, like, what was going on. But because I thought, like, as soon as that match was over, I thought they were going to show a video package for that match.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's coming out now. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah, they're like, I don't mind not having packages, especially... The show was, like, almost 5 hours long, which...
Packages?
Ha-ha.
Sorry.
Which is, to me, too long for a wrestling show. The crowd was burnt out by the main event. Like, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I was burnt out. Like, it was just... It was a lot of good wrestling, but it was just too much wrestling. It was too much.
Yeah, adding that 10th match, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, it was...
here we go.
I think if they would have kept it 4 hours with the pre-show, I think it would have been okay, but... what did you think of the Kenny match?
I thought, like, the beginning was kind of interesting because they were kind of doing, like, that indie stuff at first with, like, when he would just, like, go to, or, what was it? They bounced off the ropes and he went down to do the run the ropes thing and he just kind of stepped on him or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, like, they were doing, like, I don't know, they were doing stuff that, like, I feel like you'd see at an indie show, but I feel like a televised pay-per-view event, you wouldn't see that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. It was kind of cool how they were one-upping each other.
For pacing, like it was kind of goofy, but I think it paced it right. They started off really slow,
and they kind of did it back and forth. Like he did it, and then the second guy did the exact same thing. To like, haha, suck it. But I mean, it was a good match. Pac did really good. I think there was one little botched move. I think he was going for some type of a flippy do, and I think Pac like let go of him or something and landed on his head or something. I think you recorded it. It should be in the vlog, which you should check out as soon as it goes live. I'm pretty sure it was in there where, he was trying, I think it was a suplex or something. I don't know. He was doing something and he let go of him too soon or something and fucked up somewhere. But other than that, the match was good. Pat got the win.
Which I think we were all wrong on that one too, maybe?
It actually says, according to Wikipedia, Pac defeated Kenny by referee stoppage.
Yeah.
That's all it says. So, like, he knocked him out with the submission? Is that?
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, looking up from where we were, I thought maybe he had, like, he was doing a submission and maybe he rolled him into a pin or something, but, like, they didn't count. It was just kind of like the match is over, and I was like, No,
I seen the ref, like, call it off. Whoop, I hit the mic. Heard the ref call, or not heard, saw the ref call it off because he was out.
I think kind of the whole crowd seemed confused at that point, too, because we were kind of like, what?
Right. Yeah, that's what I don't like about,
I was kind of bummed that was the finish.
What's that?
I was bummed that was the finish.
I was okay with it. I mean, it's the whole, like, Stone Cold Bret Hart thing, I think. Like, you don't take anything away from Kenny because he didn't give up and he didn't lose, like, by pinfall. And it makes Pac, I call him Pac, look strong because, he came in and did what he said he was going to do. But they're really pushing this whole Kenny can't win a match thing, which is interesting.
Has he won at all?
No, he hasn't won at all.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But does it though? Like I think it's gonna play good into the storyline because he's like, I don't stealing from CM Punk. He's the best in the world, or he was at one point. So like him not being able to win a match, I think is gonna make a great storyline.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it does suck that he's not winning, but
yeah, like for him, like that's gotta like man.
He's getting paid, dude. He don't care.
That's true. So that's all we got on that match. Or?
Yeah, we're good.
Next, 15 minutes even. Wow. Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela in the Cracker Barrel Clash.
Okay, to start off, that's a fucking stupid name. Like they gotta get. I don't like this whole Cracker Barrel sponsoring shit thing.
I liked when the crowd was chanting Cracker Barrel. That was cool.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it's a sponsorship. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
the barrel thing worked. That was kind of cool having the barrels out there, and then they used them in the match.
Okay, here's my issue with the barrel thing. Like, I love the match. Don't get me wrong. I love the match. But okay, before when they're setting up the match, like these guys are carrying these barrels out, and they're selling them like they're fucking heavy, like they're real barrels. And towards the end of the match, when the barrels come into play, like the workers are grabbing the barrels with one hand and pulling them up over the top rope. So it takes away the whole visualization that these are heavy barrels.
This is a heavy full barrel filled with something, or
or even like big cedar or maple barrels that are gonna be fucking heavy and you're gonna go through them. Like when the dude's picking it up with one hand and carrying it up to the top rope,
heaving it over the rope like it's nothing.
Yeah, that kind of bummed me out. That was really my only complaint on that match. But it was fucking crazy, man. They were putting thumbtacks or glass or something in. Who was it? Havoc's mouth and duct taped his mouth shut.
When the dude came out with the freaking staple gun and just put a staple into his own arm, I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
like,
he's nuts,
that's
man.
Disgusting. Like, I mean, I guess whatever. But I think between the two Cracker Barrel spots, the first one was obviously better. Was that the one where he did a moonsault off the top rope with the barrel?
Yeah, to the outside. I don't know if it was a moonsault, but yeah,
something like that. And then the second one would have been cool had he like landed it right. Which I guess he did like pick up off of it and
they covered
finished it off. They covered it up good because then he threw it a second time. But those when the barrels like cracked, it was like wow, that took no effort.
Yeah, it was
like it just crunched and the whole thing imploded and like that was it. Like
you
wow,
could tell they were gimmicked really bad. There was one thing that I didn't notice while we were there. Like that's two bad things about being at a live show. You can't always see some of the things they see on TV, and I like hearing commentary.
Oh, yeah. It helps, for sure, when you can hear what's going on. Because if you miss something, then they told you what happened. Or you can see the replay if they show a replay.
Exactly. And sometimes it helps set the mood. Like, not like I don't. Michael Cole's bad. And only because WWE fucking made him bad. But anyway, like, I wish I could have heard some of the. From what I've read, the announcers were kind of. The commentators, were kind of pissed off at some spots. I guess there were some production spots. Like I think it was after the Cracker Barrel match when they were cleaning the ring. I guess production was like showing the guys cleaning the ring instead of like showing show a package or something on the screen to the viewers.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, so
I
guess Jim Ross was like visually and audibly frustrated, like you could tell. Jim Ross just doesn't seem like he's having a good time anymore.
No.
I love JR, but every time I've heard him in AEW, except for the one spot where Moxley came out, he just sounds bored. He has no enthusiasm.
He's probably just exhausted from doing it forever.
Then don't do it. I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating to me. Like, move on. I get it. I don't know. Anyway,
I do want to watch. Like, I want to watch the show like with commentary on it and everything.
Yeah, so do I.
But I kind of wish that they would like release them on DVD.
Right.
Instead of like you have to spend the $50 to watch it on BR instead of buying a $20 DVD.
They may at some point.
Or like it'd be nice if like since the show isn't live anymore to watch the replay for less than $50.
Right.
Because like the incentive to watch it live versus watch it 2 weeks later, it's still $50.
Nah, you know what would be cool, dude? Now that you say that, if it was like when you buy a Blu-ray, you get the download code. Like it would be cool if you buy tickets to a pay-per-view if they gave you like a download code. Like, okay, you paid for the ticket. Now you already can watch it when you go home.
You don't need to,
Yeah, that would be cool. So if anybody out there ever does that was my fucking idea, and I want
patent that shit now.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, watching it on the Cracker Barrel match, watching it clips of it. that skateboard spot, there was actually tacks on the bottom of the skateboard, which you couldn't see live.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh man, because that skateboard spot looked cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he comes off the top rope doing like a boneless on a skateboard.
That was sweet.
And I guess there were tacks on it, and like he jumped on Janella's back with it, and like Janella turns towards the camera, and you can see it all in his back.
Okay, that made that.
Yeah, like we totally couldn't see that live.
Shit, that. My back hurts just thinking about that.
Yeah, like tacks in the mouth, and yeah, it was a crazy match. I personally like hardcore wrestling. I didn't think it went over the top. I thought it was. I mean, there were some wicked spots, but it wasn't.
Was there any blood in that match at all, though?
No, I don't think there was.
I don't think there was, which kind of surprised me. I was expecting it.
Right.
With like tacks and everything. Like that's that's weird.
Who won that? Wasn't it?
That was Jimmy Havoc. That won that one.
Yeah. Another one we didn't pick. I don't think any of us picked Havoc. I picked.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either. I think I picked Allen. Yeah, because I thought they were pushing Allen hard after he went to a draw with Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's good to see that they're pushing all the guys. Like you give Havoc a win, you gave Allen a win. Janella is gonna get a win at some point, I'm sure. But
I'll have a rematch or something for the Cracker Barrel Clash 2.
Yeah, yay! All right, what was next on the card?
Next up was Dark Order and Best Friends. I think that's the match. You guys went to the merch table?
Yeah, that's when we decided to finally go to the merch table.
And then I went to get food, and I spent $5 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, shit was expensive there, too. Yeah.
But, I watched the entrances for that match. Dark Order looks really cool with all the minions and stuff. There was one guy up front with the minions that the bigger dude of the Dark Order kept pushing him during the entrance, and I was really confused what was going on there. If that guy was really pissing him off, or if that was the
guy,
gimmick, or
like the guy that's actually in Dark Order.
Yeah,
that's his gimmick. He pushes him off and then brings him back in and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that's the gimmick. Okay, yeah. I caught the entrance because you guys left and I wasn't gonna go get food, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, I saw the entrance to that, and that's when we left.
I think I caught the end of it. The end of the match was good. I barely remember what happened. That was kind of the match that I wasn't really paying too much attention to.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a good match.
I was trying to watch it on the screen because we went to 3 merch tables too. We went to the 2 far ones. They didn't have any of the I Was There shirts at the first one. I believe that's when Lil Dre got his foam finger. Went to the second one, they still had nothing, and I was like, well, we're not even going to go check the other one. And then I think Draven was like, well, let's go check just in case. We went over there, and they had the gray one, but they only had smalls. And they only had 4 of them. And as we're standing at the table, they had 2 in the box. Who's that? Nice shirt. Creepy person in the background. And
he likes your shirt.
What was I saying?
You were at the merch tables.
Okay, yeah. So they only had 2 in the box. I don't know what that person just did, but I think they flipped me off or something. So Draven there was somebody up there, they bought one. The other person ended up not buying one because they only had smalls. Then Draven bought his, so there was no more in the boxes. And I'm like, so you only have smalls, right? And she's like, yeah, we only have the 2 smalls that are on the mannequins. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get a small. We walk away. So I tried on Draven's small, and it seemed like it fit okay. I mean, it fits like a schmedium. It's pretty tight.
A schmedium.
And I had it over my other shirt, so I was like, yeah, this will be fine, whatever. I'm going to go back and buy it, which I didn't plan on buying one anyway because I bought the poster at Pro Wrestling Tees the day before, and that, shows everything I needed it to or whatever. But I went back and bought it, got the small, got back that night to try it on, and it's really small. It's not like a schmedium, it's like a small. So I don't know if I'll ever wear it. I'll probably just put it up on the wall.
I mean, it's still a collection piece that says you were there.
Yeah, I got it for the memories. But
put it on your dog.
Yeah, right. There you go. It probably would fit the dog, sadly. So that was our merch table mishaps, I guess you could say. That's really my only complaint about the show. If I think about it, is the merch it just wasn't set for a fucking T-shirt company. You think they would have had T-shirts? I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I feel like they should have had more. Not like 3 merch stands on the outside seems, like a decent amount, but for 10,000 people,
right? Yeah,
that all want 3 T-shirts that say "I was there," and all 10,000 people were in that merch line
at the same time. For the pre-show, when you looked around, it looked like maybe there was 1,000 people there. Like everybody was in the fucking merch line.
Yeah. They spaced them out pretty good. They put the one in the far corner, they put the one in the middle when you first walk in, and the other one was on the other side. So they were well spaced out. I think I saw at one point when I was in the second line that I was in, There was a lady that was like, she had a stack of shirts and she was like running them. I think she was probably running them from her that stand to back to her stand so they could spread them out and stuff. But
right,
like they needed better communication. We don't have this shirt, guy in the back of the line, so you don't have to wait a half hour in line.
Definitely.
Anyway, back to the match. Yeah, the match was good.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got one more complaint. The lady that was running like where we sit.
Oh my God!
Was
yeah,
super anal about things, and she was really obnoxious and annoying. As soon as we got there, like I was on my phone taking pictures of. Nothing was going on. They were still people were filing in, so I was taking pictures of like the ring and stuff. And she's like, you can't take pictures when the show starts. And I was kind of like, okay. I just said okay. I was being respectful or whatever. But I'm like, dude, it never said anything about no pictures and stuff.
Right. In my thing, it just said no professional cameras.
Yeah.
With a bigger, the lens could only be so big, but you could bring a camera in. Like, that's what it said in the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, what is this lady? Who does she think she is saying that?
And she was the only one
can't
doing
take
it.
Pictures, yeah.
And as soon as the show started, like, people were, pulling out their phones. I didn't see anybody taking pictures initially because, I mean, if she seen you with your phone out before the show, she was fucking telling you, you can't have your phone, you can't take pictures. Or you can't take pictures. She wasn't saying you can't have your phone out. But then when the show started, she was yelling at people for just having their phone out. She's, like, shining flashlights in their eyes. And it was really annoying and kind of took away from the beginning of the show. She was being really obnoxious about it. And
I do know certain concerts and stuff, like, I think someone was telling me, like, at certain concerts and stuff, like the artist will request like
right, but it
not
says
to
it
be
in
on your phone
in
because
your
like
package.
it whatever
like concerts and comedians do it all the time. Comedians will say you can't have your phone out or you'll get kicked out, and that's fine. But let
it's
us
like
know
for a
beforehand.
wrestling show, like
right,
like it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
she was annoying, and I don't know. Towards about the middle of the show, she left, and somebody came back, and then when she came back, she didn't care. She was enjoying the show too much.
Yeah, she was hanging out like behind our chairs all night. Like she was leaning up against my chair. I think she was like behind Draven at some points, and she was standing in the aisle.
Yeah,
and like people were trying to get to their seats, and they had to like excuse me, let me you're the usher, you're blocking the aisle, not doing your job. One of the matches, she even sat down because like the two fans that were directly to our right in that next section over, they were standing behind their chairs the whole show. Like they didn't sit down like the whole show. So she went and sat in their seat, and like 5 minutes later, the usher from like a section or two over came over and said like you have to be standing. And I'm like, I hope this lady fucking gets fired. It's like you can enjoy the show, but like do your job.
Yeah, she was cheering and everything. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know, she was.
Which like it's cool that she was into it, but like
yeah, she was
you gotta just ugh.
All right, what was next on the card?
Let's see, Dark Order, that was a good match. Blah blah blah. Riho versus Hikaru Shida, which I think you guys were still gone when this match started. Because I had came back from the food line, but you guys were still gone.
Yeah, I think we just caught, like, we just missed the beginning of that, I think.
The crowd was pretty quiet for that match. I don't know. Like,
I don't think a lot of them knew who they were.
I had no idea who either of them was, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Riho won, but I didn't know who either of them was. The crowd started popping near the end of the match, because, like, it was a pretty slow-paced match for the most part. But, like, near the end of the match, they started picking it up, and one of them did a flippy-do or something, and then the crowd got really into it all of a sudden, and then the crowd was like, yeah, this is great.
It was a good match.
It
was better than most of the other women's league matches that I've seen.
So it will officially be Riho versus Nyla Rose for the women's title on October 2nd.
Any early predictions?
Well, considering how Nyla Rose like demolished everyone in the Battle Royal, I'm thinking they're going Nyla Rose on that one.
Yeah, me too.
That's my early prediction for you.
Yeah. All right, what was next?
Cody and Sean Spears, who apparently came out at 10:10.
Yeah, that was awesome when I heard that.
That match was good. I loved both of their entrances. Like Sean Spears, like the dark entrance with the chair and like the spotlight and just like the eyes, and that was really cool. And Cody and the Star Trek entrance, like
I guess
that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was weird though. Star Trek out of everything. It was cool seeing DDP again though, but I
it
guess
didn't seem very like pop culture modern. Like Star Trek isn't really that big right now, but.
Yeah, it was way out of context.
And the pyro scared Cody's dog.
That's what I was just going to say. I read that Tony Khan's actually pretty pissed off about that and says that Pharaoh won't be coming down to the ring anymore.
Which he didn't even make it to the ring. I think he was like he touched the ramp and then like that was it.
when the pyro went off. I guess the mortars went off, which are the loud fireworks, and they weren't supposed to, and that's what scared them. But
oh, that makes sense. Yeah, something freaked
a lot of people are pissed off because they still drug him down to the ring, even though he was scared. So there's a little backlash about that.
Oh yeah.
But as far as the match goes, it was awesome. I mean, this is awesome. I guess you could,
yeah.
But it was old school, man. It told a story. It started off, slow. It was hard hitting. I think it was.
Didn't the match the match started the match started before it started.
Before it started, yeah.
Cody jumped out and started beating the crap out of him, and they went through the crowd and stuff before the match was officially going. And
yeah, it was really well done. I thought the pacing was good. I felt like it was in the right spot of the card. For that slow down, just old school NWA, AWA match, just hard hitting. We're gonna beat the shit out of each other, and then the surprise of Arn Anderson.
That was the coolest fucking part.
I popped fucking hard for that dude.
He looked like he couldn't run very good. He was kind of limping a little
bit
old,
when he was
running.
He's old and out of shape, but
he can still spine buster. And Sean Spears sold that shit like a champ. That was great.
Yeah, I'm so happy I got to see Arn Anderson hit a spine buster. That was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. How old? He's got to be. He's up there in age.
He's got to be
50s. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be late 50s, I would say.
And the whole MJF thing, I he's a heel, but he's out there cheering for Cody, and
it almost seems like Cody's kind of a tweener.
It doesn't make sense because MJF is this heel who's he's a dick to everybody.
Yeah.
I think there was a Chris Van Vliet thing where he was trying to get an interview with MJF, and he was saying fuck you and leaving and shit, and he's a heel and he's a dick, but he's out there jumping around going, yeah, Cody, all right, and I'm what is happening?
Yeah, he's the second best heel in the business right now behind Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was that spot after the match where he was totally going to hit him with that chair. So, that's going to set up for something,
exactly,
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a setup.
Cody versus MJF is probably going to happen at some point, I'm sure. He's going to...
And it'll be fucking amazing, because MJF's good in the ring, too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's that one.
Yeah, so what was next?
The Escalera de la Muerte, Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks, match of the night.
Yep, hands down, match of the
Period.
night. Exactly what we expected, I think.
So many flippy doos and jumps and not that many missed spots. You could tell Rey Fenix was hurt, obviously, because he got injured a week or two ago. Because every time he'd go for a high spot, everyone else, they would just run right into it, hit the high spot. But every time he'd go to do something, he would stop.
Yeah, he'd take his time
and make sure he was gonna hit the move right, so he didn't fuck himself up. Because buckle up Cody and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Back on the Cody thing. So at one point during Cody Rhodes' match, the crowd starts chanting, "Fuck him up, Cody. Fuck him up." And I'm chanting, so I'm not paying attention to what's going on. And Draven kind of nudges me, and he kind of gives me this look, and he's like, "Dad, listen to Xander." And I'm like, "What, dude? What's going on?" He's like, and Xander's like, "Why are they saying buckle up, Cody, buckle up?" So
why are they telling him to buckle up? He's got to put his seatbelt on.
So I look at him I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" He's like, "Yeah, why are they?" And I just fucking lost it. I was like, "Dude, they're saying fuck him up, Cody, fuck him up."
I'm that's what I heard. Most of the chants I was able to figure out what they were saying, but that one I just what, buckle up? Huh?
Oh man, that was I laughed the rest of the match. That was fucking hilarious. Buckle up, Cody. Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. So the ladder match, Canadian destroyers off ladders, through ladders,
into tables,
just nuts. We all knew it was gonna be nuts, but it was so good. There was one spot where one of the Young Bucks, can't remember who, was climbing up the ladder. I believe Phoenix ran in and pushed the ladder over, and you could tell that the Buck knew he wasn't going to land right. They say they had set up two tables on the outside. The ladder was inside the ring at the center of the ring. And so he's trying to position himself right on the top of the ladder so he can make it out and hit these tables
and actually land on the table.
Yeah, and
they definitely should have stacked the tables. The crowd was even chanting "stack the tables."
Yeah, stacked or pushed back a little bit or something. But as he was falling, he didn't make it, and his foot caught the rope, so it stopped him just enough to where his head smashed off the side of the one table. I seen the behind the scenes part. He was having his head looked at or whatever. hopefully there's nothing wrong. Hopefully all these guys made it away okay.
Oh yeah, I mean they looked fine for them. Like in the post, when Chris Jericho's doing his post thing, like they seemed fine.
Yeah, I seen the spot where the medics were looking at him. Like they were checking them all over.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, hopefully everybody's okay. Match of the night, hands down. I want to say I picked the Bucks on that one. I don't know if I picked Lucha. No, maybe I
think
Lucha.
I'm pretty sure I picked the Bucks on it.
I can't remember.
Maybe
I thought maybe I picked Lucha so they could.
I'll have to watch that video again because I don't remember what our own predictions were.
Yeah, go check out SC Rox's Facebook and go back and watch our live predictions.
Go check that out. I did just win a bid on eBay for 3 of the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah, so during the entrance they do this thing where they shoot out Young Bucks, and I seen one of the guys. I'll give him a shout out here. Hold on. He's got his actual illustrations page on Facebook. I met him at Astronomicon and bought one of his sweet prints, wrestling prints. It's Eric Hodson's illustrations. But anyways, he was at the show too. He was actually on the floor right next to the entrance and got some Young Bucks, and he had posted a picture of one, and I had said, hey, that would have been awesome. My son wanted to get one because Draven wanted to get one. We weren't on the floor.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us on the floor after the show, so he messaged me actually and said, hey, what's your address? I'll send your son a Young Buck. So Eric Hodson's illustration, go give him a like on Facebook. He does amazing prints, and he's a really good dude. So.
Yeah, there's different ones on eBay. Like I think another guy, after I had just bought them, another one popped up for like, here's a stack of like 40 of them or something. I'm like, I only need like 1 or 2. Like I don't need a stack of 50 of them for $50.
Right.
It looks cool. Like they're pesos, and like they look like the legit thing. And like before they used to do like, I think Double or Nothing or Fighter Fest or whichever the previous one, they had like the American $100 bill.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of cool that for the gimmick of Escalera de la Muertes with the Mexican thing, like they had the peso. Like that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool for sure.
And then so that match of the night, Flippy Doos was awesome. He got hurt. That sucks, but like he looked fine afterwards.
Yeah.
It was a good match. And main event.
Yeah. So
Chris, I don't know.
What was that?
That wasn't the match. I was gonna. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add on that match?
No, just that. Like I think the crowd was dead after that. Like.
Yeah, that was nuts.
5 hours of wrestling and then having to follow that is, like, wow.
Yeah, and then LAX came out after that match.
Oh yeah, LAX. I think that somebody said they're calling them the Los Boricuas, which was a fucking terrible stable in WWE or F back in the day with Savio Vega. But somebody said that's what they're calling LAX now.
Whatever, I guess. Whatever works for them, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, when I hear LAX, I think Homicide and Hernandez from TNA. I don't think because I can't keep up with Impact because I don't have the station, so I don't know this new LAX. I'll give them a shot, but when I hear LAX, I think Homicide and Hernandez. But yeah, main event.
Chris Jericho and Adam Page.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed Adam Page's entrance with the horse thing.
Definitely. Yep.
I liked in Being the Elite that he said the horse's name was Hunter Horse Helmsley. I got a good laugh out of that. I loved how they explained it as the horse thing, and they it showed him. He was like, yeah, so I went out and I got a horse, so I hope I'm allowed to do the horse thing.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, I guess that's okay, and like that was really cool.
Right.
Like it worked a lot better than having Pharaoh for Cody.
Yeah, right, definitely.
Like that horse was so cool. It was like, damn, that was really cool. Jericho's entrance, standard Jericho entrance.
Yeah.
I feel like the pyro was wrongly timed for that because like it went off and then he was like
Pyro was definitely off the whole night. I think like at one point I can't remember, I don't know if it was Cody or not, but like somebody was already down at the ring and then the pyro went off. Yeah, so
even the Young Bucks, the dollar thing, like I didn't like, there was one in the corner where like the jib camera was, and then there was the one on the set, and like the one that was out in the audience went off before the one on the stage did.
Yeah.
And I assume they were supposed to have gone off at the same time.
Right.
But, oh well.
Yeah.
What can you do there? That match was amazing. A lot of back and forth. Like, I thought, like, there were so many points where I was like, all right, wow, wrong match. Chris Jericho's going to win hands down because, like, whatever. And then, like, Hangman would come back and he'd hit a huge spot. And I was like, oh, my God, they're going to give it to him. And I thought for sure, I was like, there was one point where, I was like, Hangman's got it. Like, he hit his finisher, like,
yeah,
that's it. And Jericho kicked out anyway, and I was like, oh my God, like.
Yeah, by the end of it,
that was
I didn't give Paige a shot at all, and they did the match really well to where there was a couple spots where you're like, holy shit, Paige might pull this off, dude.
Yeah. That was the longest match. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard hitting match. It was a decent match. Was it main event quality? Maybe, but it definitely wasn't main event quality after watching that fucking ladder match.
After the ladder match, yeah, you can't. Like, it's hard. How do you follow after that? Like,
yeah, it was.
And I mean, they did a good job, but yeah, the crowd was. I was exhausted.
Yeah, I think everybody was exhausted, man. It was a lot of wrestling, a lot of good wrestling. But it was too much wrestling, and by the end of the night, you're tired, and
you could say they went all out on this card. Sorry.
But yeah, Jericho won with his Judas Effect elbow, and it looked fucking nasty. Like it was hard. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. Same thing with like John Cena and the punch thing. Like, I don't just turning and hitting him with your elbow.
Okay,
like,
they're two totally different things, dude. That Cena punch is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like doing something like the Code Breaker, where you like bring him down, and like I feel like that does a lot more than an elbow to your head. I don't know.
Do you
maybe.
think so? Like, okay, hold on. No, let's get into this discussion. Okay, so a Code Breaker, dude's taking a back bump and you're
into your knees. I don't know.
Well, the guy's taking a chest bump in your knees. You're taking a back bump. So if you're gonna do that on the ground, okay, you're gonna knock the fucking wind out of yourself, and it's gonna hurt you. Like, you're taking a spinning elbow to your forehead or temple, you're gonna fucking be knocked out. Jericho's a big dude, so like I'm not. It's not the most flashiest move. It's not cool, but
I think that's what it is to me. Is that it's just not a flashy move.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. But he'll get it over. Like, it got over with me right there when he fucking hit it. So I mean, it looked bad. Like, I was like, oh shit, Paige is gonna be fucked up, dude, because it was fucking nasty. At least it looked nasty from our vantage point. I don't know how it looked on TV. But yeah, Jericho is the first ever AEW heavyweight champion. I think a lot of people,
as we kind of expected.
It's the right move to go on, I think, for their debut on TV.
For sure, having the name Chris Jericho, like, that's gonna draw people in, as opposed to Hangman Page. Who's that? Like,
and I honestly was
everyone knows who Chris Jericho is.
Yeah. I've always been like, Hangman Page. I've never watched a lot of him, but what I have seen, I was just like, nah, he's all right. He's a knockoff Dolph Ziggler, I guess. How I kind of think of him in the ring, but he won me over in that match, and that's probably thanks to Jericho. Like,
oh yeah,
he was in there and fucking gave it his all and almost pulled it out.
Yeah.
So overall, what did you think of the pay-per-view? Well, your experience. Let me just say the experience of the pay-per-view that we were at.
If you ignore waiting in the merchandise line.
Nope, I want overall experience. Grade it.
Like ABC type dealio.
That's what grades are, dude.
Sorry, it's been a while. I'll go. I'll give it an A-.
Oh wow. Okay. So is that
maybe
like
somewhere A-, B+ish? I don't know. Like, the only knocks I had was waiting in the merchandise line.
Right.
To be honest, like, I mean, I feel like every match was awesome. Like, the crowd was into it the whole night, and I mean, the matches weren't bad. There wasn't really any matches that were like,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm at like probably a 89%, 91%. So
so B+,
A-. Yeah. Solid show. Merch sucked.
Our lady behind us.
Yeah, exactly. That probably took away. It would have been a solid A-, but between
that whole first half of the show, I was afraid to even like look at my watch that's connected to my phone.
I think even when she kind of toned it down, you were afraid and still hiding your phone.
Oh yeah, yeah. I pulled it out, and and you'll see it in the finished edit. Like, I'm holding my phone on like an angle. So in the edit, I rotated the video so it
Nice.
looks straight on, but the video itself is diagonal.
Right.
But the ring is straight on, and it's kind of funny. But I was like trying to, like, okay, can I put my hand on the thing? I turned my brightness all the way down so it wouldn't create a glare or anything, so this lady wouldn't, like, hey, kick me out. Because, like, if I gotta go wait outside while you guys get to enjoy the show, like, that's some fucking bullshit. So I was like, and like, I kept, like, I'd turn and glance because I'm like, oh, she's still right there. Like, oh god.
Right. Yeah. So that was the AWE All Out show.
AWE? Who?
Huh?
AWE?
What'd I say?
AWE.
Oh, well, it's better than saying IWE, which you always fucking say.
Yeah.
There's their plug.
AEW. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Beep that out when I edit it.
Yeah.
I was going to get into our Chicago adventure. I don't know.
The day after, yeah, we walked around. I touched the bean.
Yeah, there's actually a lot here, so maybe we should pause and...
do a part 2?
Should we do a part 2?
Yeah, we could. I mean, I don't know. Do you think part 2 would be that much? Because how much should we do the next day?
A lot of walking, yeah. So I guess we can just do it. Xander got to touch a bean.
I touched the bean.
Big silver bean. We walked Navy Pier, like I said before. We got to meet some other fans.
God, that was a lot of walking.
It was a lot of walking, yes, but it was good. It was a nice day. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. The weather we had all weekend was great, which helped.
Yeah, it rained after the all-out show, and like that was it. That was the only time it rained. Like I think all vacation that we were there.
It was nice. The weather was great.
The walk was really nice. We got to go to Starbucks. The walk to Navy Pier wasn't too bad, but then like the walk from the pier to the bean,
it took forever. We were all hangry, man. We didn't have anything. We all wanted to fucking eat, and then when we were waiting for pizza, because you have to have Chicago pizza, everybody says, it took about 2 hours, and that's just fucking insane for me.
Like I know we went to one of the other pizza places because last time I went to Chicago we went to Gino's instead of Giordano's, but I don't think we were in like that part of Chicago, so like the sit down time wasn't nearly as long. Like the pizza still took a good 45 minutes to an hour to make the pizza, but like we could go in and we got to sit down instead of like getting in line waiting for a half hour 40 minutes just to get to the pizza. And But I mean, I thought the pizza was amazing. Would I have waited 2 hours for it? Probably not.
No, I'll never.
Like waiting an hour, I expect, because like Chicago pizza, like because I've made it myself, I know it takes a long time because that's a thick pizza to actually heat all the way through and get like all of the crust actually cooked through and the toppings inside and everything. So it's like I know it takes a good 40 to 50 minutes to make the pizza, but the extra 40 minutes waiting to even sit down just kind of made it not as worth it for me.
Yeah, it made me never want to experience it again. Like that. Because
like, I don't. Yeah, they have Giordano's all around the town and like the Geno's, and like if we weren't right next to Millennium Park where everybody's going, like I'm sure we wouldn't have had as bad of a wait. Like even in Navy Pier, I don't think there was a wait to sit down because we were almost gonna go to that one.
Yeah, we should have. I just didn't. When I heard how long the wait was, I got turned off to it because I didn't realize every fucking place was gonna be like that. But I'll probably never get pizza there when not in actual Chicago.
Again. Outside of Chicago and like the Rosemont and the Hoffman Estates maybe, but in Chicago. Overall, but hey, you experienced it. You got to touch the bean. You got to experience the pizza. I mean, you know, bucket list stuff. We took we took a picture with the sign at Wrigley Field, and
I mean,
did a bunch of bucket list stuff. So I mean,
I was just gonna say like the Chicago adventure overall. I loved Chicago. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was scared because all you hear on the news and the media is how like shitty of a place this is.
Yeah, that's what my dad was telling me. He's like, "Be careful, Chicago is the most dangerous city." Blah blah blah.
And that's what they say on the media. And I have a cousin. My cousin Jeremy lives in Chicago, and he has said before, he's like, "It's not how they make it out to be." And
no,
you just constantly hear it. And honestly, I felt safer in every place we were in Chicago, safer than I ever feel in Detroit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just
for sure. Yeah, and I mean, even Detroit, they're trying to fix that stuff too and everything. But that's
what they've been saying for 15 years, dude.
This is true.
That's the Illiches fucking run that place, but that's something else.
I did like the bikes and everything though. Those lift bikes that we totally didn't get.
Yeah, I wish
use.
We would have. Next time we will definitely do that when we go. The lift bikes are
like that's really smart. Yeah, like to have that transportation option to where if you rent a bike, because they had a lot of those bike rental stands too. Like if you rent a bike from this place, it has to go back to that place. Whereas with the lift thing, they've got those stations all around town. You go to your destination, that's a mile away, whereas walking for a half hour versus a 1 mile bike ride maybe takes 5 minutes.
Yeah,
drop off your bike at the nearest lift station in that area, and then you spent $3 to get from here to there, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, definitely that's something we'll have to do
next time
we're there. Yep. Exactly. And there will be a next time. It's I've never heard of anything before, so maybe I'll coin it, but like I got vacation depression today, I guess. And it's not even vacation. It's not like, oh, I got to go back to work. It was like I enjoyed myself so much while I was there that like I had to come home. And any of you guys out there listening know the area I live in, and there's nothing here. There's nothing to do. There's nothing for people like me that I don't know. It's just I'm just bummed to be back home, which I didn't think I would be. I mean, I love home. I love my place. I'm grateful for what I have. I miss being able to walk 2 feet and see people and be able. And that's crazy because I'm people.
Yeah.
So for me to want to be around people like that I don't know, and
they were cool people. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a new experience for me. So I'm kind of bummed. Like I got to be back here to nothing and. Go back to my job tomorrow. So
I know that's kind of how I was too with work and stuff. Like I've been like saying at work for the last like 2 months, like I need a vacation. I need take a week off of work just to not have to work. Like, I need to do something that's not work, and to be able to be 5 hours away and like hearing, oh, they only have 3 cashiers at work all day long today, and that's gonna suck. And I'm like, that is not my problem. And like, just the satisfaction of being away, and that wasn't I didn't have to deal with that. Like, was just it was refreshing.
Right.
For sure.
Oh shit! I almost forgot to touch. Okay, on our trip back, Xander refuses to get gas at this place in Indiana that's $2.30 or something because he wants to get his points. So he pulls off at Kalama or some shit. Where was that? Michigan or Indiana?
Yeah, it was in Michigan, like right on the corner of Michigan. Yeah.
Like, we're getting out. We get off the expressway.
They had a speedway, so I'm like, yep, we're going to speedway, so I can get my points.
Gas is more expensive. Let me say that. You pull in, and the first thing you see is the sign of the city is like torn in half or some shit. Like, it doesn't have the whole thing. But like, whatever, you don't think anything. So we pull up to this gas station. We get out.
20 cents more than the gas station I decided not to go to. Yeah,
first of all, the gas was more expensive. We get out, and I see this group of kids over by the McDonald's by this gas station, like probably
the street.
About Draven's age, 12 to 14, hanging around with this. I'm guessing he was a McDonald's worker and like some other dude who was old. And this older dude like lights up a joint. You can obviously tell he's smoking like out in the open, and like passes it to these kids. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? So we go in, we get our drinks. Xander's out paying or pumping his gas. So I have to pee like I always do. So I came out and I was gonna walk to the bathroom, and then you need a key. So I'm like, well, fuck, we need a key. And as I'm walking back up, there's like another guy who just like lights up a joint in his car, like as he's parked. And I'm like, okay, this place is shady as fuck, dude. We gotta go.
Yeah.
So Xander gets in, and I'm like, okay, but I still have to piss, so let's go to that McDonald's, because this congregation of hoodlums had like dispersed, I thought. So as we pull up, Xander parks next to his car, and I walk in to go pee. And as I'm walking in, this congregation of fucking hoodlums comes out, and they're like, hey, go grab Red out of the car. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Who is Red, and why are they pulling him out of the car? And so I'm like looking over my shoulder, and they all walk next to this fucking car that Xander parked next to.
And I'm like, God damn it, I had to park next to their car.
Yeah, and the whole parking lot, empty parking lot next to this car. So I walk in because I still got to pee. And as I'm walking in, this big African-American guy with braids is like pushing this older, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but they were old because it looked like they had a hunchback, and with a mop. Pushing them like into the bathroom. I don't know if he was telling the person to clean it up or what, but this other guy didn't look like a worker. So I just instantly turned around. I'm like, okay, fuck this. I'm gonna hold my pee.
Yeah.
And as I come out, like I get in the car, and I'm like, okay, let's fucking go, dude. This place is shady. And,
well, you couldn't even get into my car at first because the hoodlums were shaking their car.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
you couldn't even get into my car. You had to like ask them to like move so you can get in, so we can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was just a fucking shady as shit place. So if you live in Kalama, stay away from the McDonald's, or go to the McDonald's, I guess, if you want to buy crack. I don't know what the fuck they do there, but I will never be going there again because it's the worst city.
It is the worst town. You can't see my shirt.
Yeah.
Well, you can see my shirt, but they can't see
I was
my
trying
shirt.
to set you up for that. I forgot it was town and not
I've
city,
ever been in.
Yeah.
And then we went a little bit further, went to the next town over called Paw Paw, so we could go pee and Paw Paw.
Yeah, I went pee and Paw Paw.
That gas station was back 20 cents cheaper, so had I just waited to get to Paw Paw, I could have saved 20 cents. We wouldn't have had this experience with the crackheads and Red in his car and shaking the car.
And the crackhead girl with her hand out with like fucking meth in it or something. I don't know. Hey, it gave us a cool story to tell here on 3D Dudes,
Absolutely.
Drinks, and Discussion. I hope you enjoyed this story.
Definitely an amazing vacation.
What was that?
Definitely an amazing vacation. Definitely want to go back again sometime. Last
Yeah.
time I was there was 4 years ago. Definitely want to go again.
Yeah, great time. Like I said, I had.
Got to save up money for next time.
Yeah, I'll be going to get a loan tomorrow to pay off my credit card because I overspent hella much and I don't make much. But anyway, so yeah, thanks for joining us on this episode of 3D Dudes, Drinks, and Discussion. As always, I am your host, the outcast, SE Rocks, joined by
Zan, the plant man.
Xander the Plant Man. Thanks for coming on the vacation with us, dude. It was awesome to have you.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
a great
for
time.
Sure. We didn't kill each other. Woo!
Yet. We didn't kill each other yet.
Yeah, there's still time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so thanks for joining us. Be sure to check out our vlog on either Blank Canvas Entertainment or Xander Media or both. You'll have to pay attention, see what's going on.
Yeah, subscribe to both of us. Like us on Facebook. Check out Spilled Paint and all the things. And
yeah. He's supposed to be making us a track, but we'll see. But anyways, keep rocking, guys.
Stay crispy.